Hi, I'm Giulia Bruno. I'm an artist based in Berlin, working with video and photography. And since a lot, my main work it focus on language and the fact that there is a kind of technological act of language. Since during also the lockdown, I was happily involved in following all the process of the project Abecedarium, the Ocean in Sign Language, run by Valeria Bottalico and Ocean Space in collaboration with also Angela Pomera and CNR. And the project was a kind of process regarding how neologism regard the sign can be developed, because in the sign language a lot of words related to the ocean and scientific discussion are not present, and also the Italian sign language was even not declared when we started. So the project, it's a kind of project that it is dealing a lot of important questions regarding social issue, scientific issues, and artistic issues. And we will start also to create a kind of seeds, a kind of video that will start from the process we did and we will do. And then this video will activate also a kind of larger discussion, going back to the deaf community, but also all the public or all the other person related to the main question regarding what does it mean to communicate, what does it mean to have a sign for a kind of larger way to interact and to speak about important things like climate change and all these kind of important political discussion we will have. The project, it will be also in collaboration and done with Giuseppe Ielasi, which is a sound artist with whom I collaborate often, and also with Paola Raeli. And I'm very happy to be involved in this great project with TBA 21 and Ocean Space, and thanks to Valeria and Angela.
Hi everyone, I'm Valeria Bottalico, Education and Accessibility Manager at the Ocean Space in Venice, the exhibition space, the multipurpose center, funded and led by TBA 21 Academy, where we address ocean preservation through the lens of art and the many languages of contemporaneity. It's my pleasure to introduce you today Abecedarium, the Ocean in Sign Language, the education and participatory project created and curated for TBA 21 Academy in collaboration with the Ente Nazionale Sordi, the Italian Deaf Agency, and the CNR ISMAR, the Institute of Marine Sciences. What is it all about? Well, we want to create an eco-glossary in sign language, the language used by the deaf community, starting from Italian to other countries and international signs related to the marine world and the climate emergency. Why? The ocean covers almost the entire Earth. The lives of all of us depend on the ocean, from the air we breathe, to the food we eat, to what we wear. But the ocean is also endangered because of the great impact of the human activities, especially, in fact, in this time of emergency, like, for example, the pandemic period. It is crucial to find new ways to collaborate and channel energies for our future well-being. Thus, from the importance and the need, above all, to create and have a vocabulary used and shared by all, in the fall of the 2020, during the pandemic situation, we opened a call for applications for the selection of bilingual deaf people familiar with LIS, Italian Sign Language, and Italian. Many people participated and from all of Italy. And at the end, we selected a group of 12 people from different geographical, linguistic, and cultural backgrounds. The group of participants joined a series of training meetings conducted by scientists, researchers from the Institute of Marine Sciences, but also artists, architects, and we have met every Wednesday for more or less 2 hours since mid-January 2021. And part of this, part of the meeting has been devoted to the language discussion. So the strengths of the project are precisely participation and above all co-design. In fact, the working group is big and is created by deaf community, by the evaluator, but above all the scientists. And with the common challenge all together to create appropriate tools for the dissemination of these issues and topics around the ocean, and to have altogether a vocabulary to concerning the future well-being around these topics, and to have a vocabulary to take part in the national and global debate of our planet. Now we are ready to start with phase 2 that will be involve the artist Giulia Bruno to make the process artistic through the creation of videos that bring together oceanic issues with a poetic and aesthetic approach. And in this session, we are happy to have together, we meet our working partners and actors, scientists and deaf people. And now I'm happy to introduce you the researcher, Angela Pomaio, that coordinated a group of scientists from Institute of Marine Sciences from ISMAR. And I asked her, what is the role of CNR ISMAR, Institute of Marine Sciences, in general, but in special in this project, Abecedarium, the ocean in sign language. Thank you.
My name is Angela Pomaio, and I'm a research scientist at the Institute of Marine Sciences of the National Research Council of Italy, Italy's largest research institution, who played the role of scientific partner in the project Abecedarium, the ocean in sign language, contributing to provide knowledge about the ocean, as well as to design the educational framework of the project. ISMAR conducts advanced research in oceanography, which is the science that studies the ocean from a physical, chemical, biological, and geological point of view, with the aim of contributing to the study of ocean processes and climate variability. It is well known that the oceans play a fundamental role in the Earth's climate system and ecosystem. The oceans for decades have been storing heat retained in excess in the Earth system due to increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and the consequences of these changes for nature and humanity have been clearly remarked by the scientific community. Reducing the uncertainties surrounding knowledge of marine processes and their impact on climate is a key goal, one of the scientific societal challenges to which ISMAR intends to contribute by leveraging its multidisciplinary expertise. Dissemination and scientific communication are statutory missions for CNR, including the promotion, valorization, and utilization of research results, and the contribution in terms of knowledge transfer towards the society. Therefore, we are directly involved in developing several citizen science and ocean literacy initiatives, especially in the framework of the United Nations Decade for Ocean Science and Sustainable Development, inaugurated in 2021. Effective science dissemination and communication are important tools for the transfer of knowledge derived from research to the public, and in particular to the younger generations. The most recent events and media pressure related to the growing interest in environmental problems, climate change, and their evident effects in everyday life, require research scientists to be ready to disseminate their results in a timely manner and to respond appropriately to requests from the press, from the citizens, and from institutions. For these reasons, for the past few years, ISMAR has also engaged in close collaboration with the Ocean Space and TBA 21 Academy in this field, because we strongly believe in the importance of combining contributions, expertise, competencies, and different sensitivity for the development of more impactful initiatives. Developing accessible products and initiatives will enable a more effective dissemination of knowledge and inclusiveness of any cultural citizenships without losing meaning and knowledge content. Moreover, we strongly believe that the process of co-design dissemination activities with users affected by disabilities can trigger a multidisciplinary and multisensorial approach that will enable the creation of contents by all types of publics, also beyond the national level. Among many others, we are proud to have contributed as scientific partner together with the Ocean Space and the Italian National Agency for the Deaf for the development of a sign language glossary relating to the oceans and to the climate issues. The project has involved a number of scientists with expertise in different fields of marine sciences that provided 10 lessons online with the help of LIS interpreters, engaging a dialogue with the deaf participants in order to cover all aspects relating to ocean science and fully understand the knowledge gaps to cover with the course as well. The participation of different experts was intended to answer all the questions that the participants could ask, with the aim of paving the way to build a wealth of knowledge and awareness through a participatory process in the long-term plan. The challenge that we as research scientists had to face was to create proper photographic and video footage to support the presentations, instead of using complex graph or written texts as usual. Also, to use a proper language that could be transferred by the interpreters in the most direct way possible, enabling the participants to follow both the sign interpreter and the proposed video and photo footage. I would like to underline that these constraints do not only help me and my colleagues to focus on the importance of language and support materials when addressing the general public, but also provided an interesting approach towards our own work, stepping outside usual dissemination schemes and perspectives, fostering also new research activities. The Italian deaf community has been actively involved in mapping all existing and known signs about the marine world, to bring out the need for new signs of unknown concepts, such as, for example, the term Anthropocene, until the proposal and discussion on possible new signs recognized as essential to engage in ocean science discussions. Moreover, the initiative and its experimental and participatory approach has been fully documented to perform a scientific study and research, analyzing the process and the importance of creating and having a vocabulary used and shared by all to promote widespread awareness of the importance of science and technology for everyday life and sustainable development. In this work, we have involved our colleagues from the Institute of Cognitive Sciences and Technologies, again from the National Research Council of Italy, starting a new interdisciplinary collaboration. The second stage of the project, we have the Institute of Marine Sciences playing the role of co-producer as well as a scientific partner in the project with the aim of leveraging the co-design process by producing short videos aiming at conveying in sign language and appropriate photographic video and visual work the contents of the lessons provided, with explanation, when needed, for the new science developed through the first phase of the project. What is important to notice is that the videos are intended to spread knowledge about the ocean not only among the deaf community, but towards the general public in a real project design for all.
And in the phase 1 of Abecedarium, how have scientists worked to simplify communication? What are the difficulties during the language discussion, during the 15 meetings, training meetings that we did together with the deaf and with the scientists, of course?
Okay, with this question, we truly dive into the challenges of the project, to which I stress that we are really proud to have contributed as a scientific partner. Well, the project from our side has involved a number of research scientists because we wanted to offer all the different expertise in different fields of marine sciences, as I mentioned, spanning from physical, biological, and chemical oceanography to marine geology, which offer the basis of the knowledge towards about the ocean. The first phase of the project has comprised of lessons provided online because of the pandemic by CNR ISMAR researchers, with the help, of course, of LIS interpreters, with the aim of engaging a dialogue with the deaf participants through beside the difficulties in doing this. The aim was to cover all aspects relating ocean science in order to fully understand the knowledge gaps that were needed to cover with this course, with this training. This is why the participation of different experts was fostered. It was intended to manage, to ensure the possibility from our scientists to answer all the questions that could have arisen by the participants, with the aim, of course, of paving the way to build new knowledge, but also to start a participatory process that was from the very beginning aimed at having a long-term plan. So the challenge from our side was surely to create proper photographic and video footage to support our presentations, instead of using and sharing the usual complex drafts or written texts. Of course, using a proper language, simple but capable to represent what we were trying to, the message we were also complex messages we were trying to convey. And it needed to be proper and simple because it was a language that could be easily transferred by the interpreters in the most direct way possible towards the deaf participants, enabling them to follow both the sign interpreter and the proposed slides that, through the power of imaging, could help the description we were providing being understood by the participants in a clear way. I would like to underline that all the constraints we have faced also helped me and my colleagues to understand or better to focus on the importance of language and of support materials when addressing to the general public. This is also something which is really needed and that sometimes we underestimate. But it also provided an interesting approach towards our own work, because stepping outside the usual dissemination schemes and perspectives, we were allowed to find new ways of looking at our own work and hopefully foster also new research activities. As an example, we decided from the very beginning, because we understood the interdisciplinarity of the project, we decided to involve in this work also our colleagues from the Institute of Cognitive Sciences and Technologies that followed basically and studied this process we were building together with all the project partners, in order to analyze the process and also with the aim of understanding the importance of creating and having a shared vocabulary to promote to really promote widespread awareness of the importance of science and technology for everyday life and especially for the sustainable development of the society. Finally, just to conclude, the second stage of the project, the Institute will play also the role of co-producer of these final products that are these short videos aiming at leveraging this co-design process and to convey the ocean science in also through the sign language towards the newly developed, also in the frame of artistic work, products that are, as I mentioned, intended to spread knowledge not only among the deaf community, but also towards the general public.
Thank you, Angela, for sharing with us the whole process of the work done together with the scientists, the challenges and the results achieved together. It has been and is important for the project, but not only in general for all the activities at Ocean Space in Venice, but not only the process of CNR ISMAR through the scientists like you. Thank you.
Thank you, Valeria. It's really been a great honor and pleasure to take part in this challenge and to work for the further programs we are building.
Since we are telling you about Abecedarium project from different perspectives, as multifaceted as the project is, I will now turn the floor over to Mirko Santoyo, who works as a sign language researcher at the CNRS in Paris, and who, within the first phase of the project, played an important role as moderator and conductor of the group of deaf participants and as of the language discussions. Hi, Mirko. Before forwarding us into the details of your role, could you first briefly explain what sign language is, and what value does it have, and why is it important to think about building a sign language glossary on environment issues? Thank you.
First of all, thank you for inviting me. The important question you asked me is, what is sign language? As Valeria already said, I am a linguist, and I will try to answer briefly. Sign language is a language on par with other languages, including spoken ones. It is good to keep in mind that the latter have been discriminated against for a long time. In recent years, however, it has been given its due, and in doing research, elements of great value have been discovered in order to better understand human language in general. To be precise, the research began in 1960 on American Sign Language, thanks to Dr. William Stoker, who first proclaimed the ASL, American Sign Language, as a real language. His research had a most important impact on sign languages research all over the world, i.e., from that time, researchers in other states began to do sign language research on their own territory. It is worth noting, however, that the use of sign languages goes back a long time before that. There is scientific evidence for it, and documents on signs date as far back as 200 BC, the period of the Roman Empire. Because sign languages are minority languages, like all other minority languages and cultures, they are more at risk of being suppressed. So the work of researchers has a double assignment, that of research and that of perpetuating coded language. Just like other languages, it is structured phonologically, morphologically, syntactically, and semantically. In addition to these, pragmatic study and sociolinguistic relations are significant. Having said all that, now let us see what impact it has had on the Abecedarium project in the environmental context. There are so many notions at the scientific level, some of which have not been implemented in the deaf community. The Abecedarium project has provided for the meeting of experienced and/or motivated volunteers on the subject, and during the meetings they were discussed very actively, in order to understand the notions and try to create corresponding signs, always keeping in mind the deaf community as well, increasing the milestone knowledge in order to be emancipated in a context. As you see, it is a virtuous triangle: knowledge, language, and community. If all three elements are there, you get to progress and be emancipated both as an individual and as a community. The project had an important impact in order to solidify more and more concepts, some of which were already in use in LIS, through discussion and exchanges of ideas and opinions of each of the participants. Having said all this, in conclusion, sign language research is extremely important to contribute to the increasingly detailed knowledge of how languages work, to add bricks to the Tower of Babel, and to understand the cognitive functioning of human language.
Thank you, Mirko, for this for your answer. And as we anticipated, you were the coordinator of the group of deaf participants. What was and is the value of having a language discussion after the introduction of the topics by the scientists? And how did it take place, the discussion? Thank you.
Certainly. Let me describe to you the process and how it started. "12 deaf participants were selected, and a coordinator, this being myself. I thank you for your trust. In the first step, subject matter experts were invited who explained the various concepts, while also allowing participants the opportunity to speak for clarification and insights. In the second step, participants would get together and reflect on what signs might be appropriate for a given concept. Usually, in the preliminary stages, they would often play with language. For each concept, they would express in 3, 4, 5 signs. Then, while they discussed and reflected, the number of signs was reduced due to the process of economy related to language. My job, that of coordinating in order to minimize the number of signs for each concept, is not easy, because each person with different backgrounds have their own beliefs and styles. And my job was precisely to seek a compromise among all. Proposing, discussing, and soliciting discussions about specific signs, trying to find precisely a compromise of specific signs that are clear and inherent to the given concept. Sometimes some specific signs could be intuitive, but others needed specific knowledge of the given context. This, in my role, is very complex, because many people think that being a visual and iconic language, usually concepts are clear and intuitive, and this is not true precisely because it is one of the properties of languages to have an arbitrary relationship between the meaning and the signifier of a given sign or word. From an external point of view, I had a chance to observe the creation of neologisms, a linguistic process that interests me very much. It was intense and tiring work, but at the same time rewarding to see this process, at least for me, as a linguist. It really was, and I feel so grateful. And I thank you immensely, Valeria, for giving me this beautiful experience.
Thank you, Mirko. Thank you very much for also leading us here to learn more about what the sign language is, what value it has, and also the importance of a language discussion for building an eco-glossary as Abecedarium project will be. The training first and the linguistic discussion later in a visual language such as sign language has allowed and allows an approach and an effective appropriation of information. The ocean is a part of our lives, and ocean education should be part of every citizen life. To be able to care the ocean, it is absolutely fundamental that everybody has access to the artistic content and the scientific knowledge created without excluding anyone, because we all need to be involved in the safeguarding the planet, and everyone must have the information and tools to access it. So among the strengths of the project are precisely the participation and co-design. In fact, there is a large working group, which we will get to know in addition to the participants, with the common challenge all together to create adequate tools for the dissemination of these issues, and have all a vocabulary that allows us to take part in the national and global debate on the most urgent issues concerning the future well-being of our planet. We think that keywords are accessibility, inclusion, and participation. So Abecedarium, the Ocean in Sign Language, proposes the vision of an ocean sea as an open access for all to information, combined with the vision of an engaging and inspirational ocean, where different expressions and experiences converge and are also translated into manifestations related to contemporary culture, bringing the possibility for everyone to enjoy natural and cultural landscapes, unique sources of life and inspiration. Making them accessible and participatory is, however, a goal that still works in large part, a concept that of widespread use for all at all times and conditions of life, which leads us to consider the value of communication that ideally represents that Abecedarium that everyone should have, and that is that vademecum to our freedom of thought and expression and action. So through creative and collaborative actions, we can in fact contribute to spread the knowledge of the world in which we live, reflecting on its criticalities and contributing where possible to their solution. Art, in fact, in the values of it expresses in the territories, can be an effective means of social development to achieve this change, building the possibility of interpreting our history together, also through training activities, creating new expressions for new situations, for new words, means in fact opening up to new areas of cultural growth, guaranteeing that process of democracy, equity, exchange, and cultural interaction, between the various components of society that are the founding principles of European values. The science of the sea, the neologism in sign language or in sign languages that will be born thanks to the new Abecedarium glossary, will constitute, in this sense, a modern perspective that will allow to further expand the concept of participative function of our culture and landscape heritage, becoming a manifestation of an open, involving, and inspiring path based on the creative and expressive potentialities that oceans, seas, and their environment represent in the wider planetary structure. At the end, this project, together with the others that exist in the rest of the world, we think can be a testament to our dedication to contribute to this immense task of safeguarding and knowledge of the ocean, involving everyone, to give a voice to the ocean and make sure it is heard. Thank you.